Hi, my name is Vivian and welcome to my soul journey. Today we're going to talk about intention grids. There are lots of books and articles and information about how to use intention grids. So what I'm going to share today is my understanding of how to use them and then how I apply it in my own practice for myself and with my clients. So a little bit about intention grids. Probably the most basic description I can offer is you set an intention for something that you would like to manifest or create, and then you harness the energy of that through stones or crystals that you place onto a surface, and then hold that as a sacred energetic grid or vortex until it feels complete, and then you clear the energy of that and you create a new one. So yeah, I'm not an expert in geology. I just know as an energy worker, certain stones have a vibration or a feeling to them that resonates with me. And so when I select which stone to put where on the intention grid, it's just a feeling. It's like I sense that that one would work here, and it feels like this one would match in this space. And so it's just this combination of bringing all of those energies together and then putting them into one vortex. So you're not going to get a lot of stone names from me or crystal names, or what they mean or what their qualities or properties are. But what you can do is gather your own collection of crystals and then start to use them, and then go back after that and look up the meanings of the crystals. Look up what their chakra connections are, or what they manifest for people, and then learn kind of backwards, right? Trust your intuition first, trust your gut, and then go backwards to get the science and the metaphysical information to support what your own knowing is. So that's how I use them. I'll show you the one that I have right now that I'm completing, if you want to look at that. So this one was based on an expansion that I was doing in my business. So I had my website in the middle, and then all the other stones around them were placed deliberately one by one with whatever connection I was assigning or value I was assigning to it. And what we're going to do now is take this grid apart and then start a new one. So I'm going to pause for a moment while I de-grid. Okay, so we're going to start with a clean grid and build it so that I can show you how I use it for myself. What I use as the base is a Flower of Life mat that I ordered online. You can also go into one of my favorite crystal stores. It's called Soulscapes. It's in San Diego, and they sell the mats there. It's like a velvet black Flower of Life symbol. And then as you place the stones on that, you connect them through the Flower of Life grid, which I happen to love. But your base could be anything. I build mine on top of a canvas, a stretched canvas, and then I can lift that and put it wherever I want to take it into my office. I usually keep my crystal grid on the corner of my desk. It's a big conference table desk. And so it anchors in the intention that I'm creating at that time, and I see it every day, several times a day. I walk by it. So it really is a part of the energy that I hold in my space. Whenever I'm getting ready to set a new intention grid, sometimes it's a few weeks, sometimes it's a month or two before I switch it. Probably not 2 months. A month is about as long as I'll go between intention grids. But I usually am in the space of some sort of transition, or there's a new project I'm beginning. And so the intention grid is a way for me to take what it is that I want to create and then put something tangible to it. I guess some people could call it prayer, like if you were praying with the rosary beads. For me, it's tangible touch with stones, which, are from nature and have such strength and such power from the earth, with the intention from my heart and my soul. So the physical and the energetic and the spiritual all get combined. And it's something that I see and feel and can look at, and it anchors in whatever it is that I'm trying to manifest. So I set up my space when I'm going to set an intention grid. It's usually quiet in my home. I'll put on some of my favorite music. I don't know if you can hear, but right now I have one of my favorite albums playing. And then I usually have some quiet time. Either I've just finished meditating or I've been journaling. Maybe I've been outside sitting in the sun or walking, and I bring that stillness and that strength of what it is that I'm going to create, and I make it tangible in the actions of creating the intention grid. So that is how we do it. All right, my videographer, my daughter Callie, is going to help with some of the transition here. So what I'd like to do is show you the blank canvas, which is the flower of life. And then these are some of the crystals and stones that I've been accumulating. You'll start with 1 or 2 perhaps, and eventually you'll go to 20 or 30, and eventually you might have 100. Each of them has, like I said, a resonance or an energetic feeling that I can sense. And then also some of them have stories, or they're gifts from people that that person's energy came with the stone. And so that's part of when I set the intention with the grid. Yeah, and I'll say more as I put stones on so you can feel what it is that I'm creating. All right, so we're going to start with a blank canvas. The work that I'm focusing on right now, the intention that I would like to put some strength and power behind, are the daily meditations that I've been creating. I've been sharing them on my Facebook page. And so when I decided to do this, I was feeling inspired to share the gift of meditation with as many people as possible. I wanted to teach people how to meditate in a way that was unique to them, not something that I tell you how to do it, or it has to look or feel like this, but I can provide some guidance, and from there it's a platform and other people can learn how to meditate and create their own practice. And so in my own meditation space, what came forward was this desire to teach by modeling. So every day for the past 2 weeks, I have been showing up with my microphone and my computer, no agenda, and I just drop into meditation space and then create a 15 to 20 minute meditation, which I then post on Facebook and YouTube. And it has pushed me to be really present, to look at what I'm experiencing in my own life, and then use that as a way to connect with other people and perhaps guide them into their own knowing or their own truth. So it's been crazy and cool, and also like, wow, the next stage of evolution for me for sure. So now that that feels more settled in my space, what I would like to do is set an intention of how the daily meditations can really reach further, that more people can hear and understand different ways to play with energy and different ways to meditate, and that message can spread out. So that's the energy that I really would like to harness and bring in. All right, so we're going to start building the grid. So the way that I do it is I start with a center stone, and each stone has a meaning. So for me, this is probably the stone that I use the most in the center of my grids. I like it because it has, pink, which to me always implies heart and love. My daughter has this beautiful rose quartz, and to me that just symbolizes, love and compassion and opening your heart up. And so I like this stone because it has heart, but it also feels like it has this, dirty edge or messiness, the strength of, really solid rock on the backside. So what I'm going to do is, and I usually just hold them for a moment in my hand and put my intention or my wish or hope of what wants to be created. I connect with the energy of the stone and then put those two things together and place them inside the center of the grid. Yeah, so my intention is that love and compassion and realness, the messiness of life and living here as humans and souls having these experiences, that it will spread out, and it'll be through the vehicle of meditation, and it'll be sent out through the internet, through Facebook and through my website and YouTube. So that's my center one. And then from there, you can go around, and again, this is my way. You can do it any way that you want to do it. I'm just sharing my way. So my way is to take one thing that connects with each of these and start to form a web or a pattern that kind of spreads out. Sometimes I'll go directly from here to a corner. So for example, for this one, what feels important is to ground the whole process. There are different stones for grounding, but most of them are connected to the root chakra, which, is for stability and connection into the earth. So this stone for me feels heavy and dense and solid, like if you were to sit on a rock that was made of this quality of stone, a big, huge piece of that, you would match the density of it. You would drop into your root chakra. You would feel grounded. And so I'm going to connect these two and anchor it here at what for me is the bottom of my grid, right? So this is the bottom, this is the top for me. So I connect in that this intention is going to be grounded. It's going to come from my root chakra, and it's going to create a really solid base as it spreads out into the world. The next stone that I'm going to pick is, this is my favorite stone. It's really kind of cool. I have a bigger version of it here, and then I have lots of these smaller versions, like these smaller pieces. It's called lithium and chalcedony. I don't know if I'm even saying it right, but that's what the stone is called. And it's made from the sulfur springs. So as the sulfur water comes up, this is how I understand it, it gets crystallized, and so it forms this really cool mix of stones. You can't feel it because obviously you're on the other side of the camera, but this stone is heavy. Like, it really has a dense weight to it, but it also has just this mix of color and consistency. So anyway, I love these. But this lithium and chalcedony, it's for anchoring in, I guess, the next level of consciousness into this dimension that we're in right now, this 3D world. And so it's a healing stone. It's intended to bring healing to anyone who uses it. So I use it on every intention grid, and I usually put it on the corner. So I'm anchoring it in that not only is this intention to spread meditation out across the world going to be grounded, but it's also going to be with the purpose or the stability of grounding and healing together. That both of those are going to be what guides my intention to help people learn to meditate. All right, my next one, I'm just feeling as I go here. My next one is this one. This is probably one of the stones that touches my heart the most. It's from a friend of mine who was in Mexico, and we had lost someone very dear to us, and she was on the beach, and all of these little stones washed up, and she collected a whole pile of them, and then she gave them to us. And so it's a reminder to me of compassion, of love in like the purest form of love through my friend Raphael. And so this stone always touches me, and it feels very powerful. So my intention is not only will the meditations that I'm sending out be grounded and have healing, but they're going to come from a place of deep compassion for humanity and this journey of life that we're all on. And it also feels, because he has passed away, it feels like he's a guide or a space holder that can sort of oversee the higher purpose of what we are doing with meditation. Okay, so the next one is this stone that was given to me by my friend Andrea. It's an angel, obviously. She is just a dear friend of mine. I will give her a quick shout out because I love her so much, but she creates all these amazing products, Andrea's Alchemy Kits, and she is just so talented in knowing how healing works and how to bring nature and plants and activate something in a physical body that allows them to heal in ways we don't understand yet. So she creates these bath salts, and usually for every intention grid, I will take some sea salts and sprinkle them on the grid, but this is my daughter's grid and I don't want to get it dirty, so I'm not going to do it today. But typically my grid has a lot of salt on it. Salt is a healing quality, a healing product that our body naturally produces and uses. So I like to bring sea salt into all of my grids as another way to anchor in the healing that can happen. So for Andrea, I usually have her in the corner at the top of my grid. So these are my base, as you're looking at it from my point of view, grounding and healing. And then I have compassion, and then the physical and spiritual healing connection anchored in through her angel. All right, so next, what will I do next? All right, probably, so my intention is to connect with a lot of people. This stone, I don't know why, but it feels earthy, it kind of looks like the planet Earth. It's got sort of these browns and blues. I don't know where I got it or when I got it, but it feels real and a little messy and dirty. And I think most people who are trying to muddle their way through meditation don't feel like they have it figured out. And you go into the meditation space thinking that you know what you're doing, and you sit there and you kind of fight your way through whatever it is that's in your consciousness first. And so it feels like as meditation spreads, I would like to let it be shared with people in their messiness, that it doesn't have to look perfect or feel done, but that meditation will just connect with us and allow us to integrate it into our messiness. Yeah, so that feels like the first step. So this also represents a lot of people to me, a lot of people around the world, just guiding meditation into their daily lives. Yeah, what's the next one? I think I'm going to use some tiger's eye. So tiger's eye, from what I understand of it, is very much about passion and fire, and it feels like a wake-up sort of energy to me, like you can't sleep through the colors and the groundedness of the stone. It's going to make you need to do something, right? It's going to kind of get you inspired to have action. And so where would it make the most sense? To me, it feels like it goes this way. So as meditation enters the messiness of people's lives, there's this way that it can wake you up, right? It can inspire you to take some action and do something, create movement. And so that's the energy I feel here. I put it closest to grounding because I don't want it to be flying up and out into spirituality, more of you take meditation, you anchor it into your messy real world, and then from there something gets sparked or shifted in you that you want to do something, you want to create a change in your life. And so that passion and fire gets activated deep down in you, perhaps in your root chakra. So connected to groundedness feels important to me. The other thing this is also one of my favorite stones. I love it for several reasons. One is it's tiny, right? Like, of all the stones I have, it's the tiniest, so I'm always afraid I'm going to lose it because it's so little. But I don't know, every time I hold it, I'm like, this feels like consciousness, the highest impression, understanding of consciousness that's available. It's green, which is the color of the heart chakra, and I do believe consciousness moves through the heart. It's completely clear. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see right through it. And it's got all these different facets to it, but it's tiny, right? So to me, when I think of meditation, meditation is about you connecting to your own consciousness, for you to find your knowing, your voice, and then learn from it, connect with it. So I'm going to anchor it in up here at the top of the grid. I know for you it's the bottom, but for me it's the top. Oops. And I like to have it in the center of its own flower, if you can tell from there. It's also in between the two spiritual sides, so I feel like it takes compassion and healing from, the angelic realms or from the spiritual realms, and it harnesses the power of that and then sends that into meditation, which then brings it down into the earthly plane. So there's this beautiful flow of energy that I am setting the intention for, right? So the meditation is spiritual, grounded, but there's a rhythm to it. There's a pathway of how it will flow. Yeah. All right. Usually right after consciousness, I bring in this cross. So I'm just sharing everything with you guys. So this cross was from a necklace of a dear friend of mine who passed away 4 years ago. And I've worn it in most of the sacred ceremonies that I've been in since she passed. I used to wear it every day, and then I was scared I would lose it. So I use it on my intention grids. And for me, it's a reminder that we are always protected and guided by those who have passed before us, by our ancestors, our friends, our loved ones. I do believe that you can communicate with people that have passed, and it's through the heart, it's through love. So I include this on every one of my intention grids, and it's usually close to consciousness. So what I typically will do is anchor it so that the spiritual goes through consciousness, and then there's this bridge of loved ones that are protecting and guiding us, that will come in through meditation. And often in meditation, I'll ask for those who I have known in the physical plane who've left to just guide me and, share with me what needs to happen next. Okay, so from there, I'd like to connect in more healing. So this feels like a good one. I have 2 of these. These are frankincense. I don't really know what frankincense does. I know that I love it. Like, if you were here, I'd let you smell it. It has this really beautiful scent. And my friend Andrea, in her healing products, she will use it on facial oils because it's an old herb, and it just has these beautiful healing qualities. It's tangible when you have it in a stone format, or I guess it is a stone because it's hard. So what I would like to do is bring in the physical through meditation in healing. So what would my intention be for this? It feels connected to self-care, Meditation is a practice of stilling your mind, and I think often when our mind is still, it can guide us about our bodies, and it can teach us, like if our bodies need more rest, you should be able to feel or sense that in your meditation time. If your body needs more exercise, or your nutrition isn't what it should be, the meditation can bring in that stillness where you can tune into your body and you can feel what it needs from you to be at its optimal level of health. So this is the intention for this stone, is to help the meditation practice connect people into their bodies so they can self-heal, right? So that we don't hand our power over to other people who are going to do tests or, observe blood, or, whatever it is that needs to be evaluated. We can feel for ourselves what needs to happen inside of our bodies. And then we can go to the experts and say, here's what I sense is going on, what would be the next step? But at least we are so in touch with our bodies that we're the ones empowered to do what needs to be done. So this intention is to take meditation time for self-healing. This is fun. Okay, the next stone that I'm going to pick is this one. I love the stones that have, depth or character to them. So this is amethyst on the top, and then it has all these layers of, real stone at the bottom. So it always feels to me like this is the human and the soul, right? We're so beautiful in our purity, but then, we got all this gunk and mess inside of our space. So it feels like taking the intention of the meditations through the messiness of the world, sending it out into the world, having it wake people up, so that they are inspired to start creating their own meditation practice or interest in meditation. And then allowing that to be shared. So through the realness of our own experiences, our own humanity, we can share with other people and remind each other of this purity of the soul. So there's like this flow of energy, right? From the spiritual through consciousness, in through meditation, into the messiness of the world, waking people up and then reminding people of the soul that they are, which is pointed right back at compassion, and love. So it just feels like a really beautiful energy flow. There's something about this, though. I would like for it to spread out through people. So let me see which stone best feels like it would do that. Yeah, I think we're going to use this one. This is my daughter's amethyst wand. It feels like connecting the amethyst back to compassion, so perhaps going this way. Right? So there's this beautiful flow that can continue back around that ties everyone together. That's mostly what I really would love, is that meditation brings people together in new ways, and that it's through our spirituality or our connection to God or Source that we remember we're actually all one. And I don't say that to be cheesy. I really believe that we're all so interconnected, and so as one strengthens, the other strengthens. As one heals, the other heals. And the point is to always be bringing each other, up higher into more love, more compassion for each other. So there is just this flow of love and compassion that's moving through the grid. But it's grounded and it's anchored in healing. There's a piece here, too, about each person owning it for themselves that feels really important to me. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this. This feels like third chakra related. I know this one is orange calcitrate, I think. This is, again, one of my daughters. She has such good taste in stones. But to me, this feels connected to the third chakra. The color is, orange, yellow.
Brings in money, too.
Yeah, brings in money also. Yeah, that's funny. What I would love is to really have people own this process of their meditation for themselves. So perhaps we'll bring it here. We'll bring it in this way. Yeah, we'll bring it in this direction. So it feels like connecting. Yeah, that feels beautiful. So bringing meditation into the messiness of the world, having each person own it for themselves and connect it to healing their physical bodies. And so that happens through the third chakra, which, is the solar plexus and is our own power center for each of us as individuals. So there's this collective process that I feel for everyone in meditation. And then there's also, what do you uniquely receive and create for yourself? And then how do you anchor that into your body? I actually feel like I'm going to bring the healing right on the edge of the grid, so it feels more connected to our physical plane and then the realm of spirituality and the universe. So this healing is really on the edge of the grid, and I think I'm going to do that also with our grounding, so that we really ground the physical in with the universal. Yeah, is there anything else that's needed to complete this? All right, I'm going to bring this one in just because I love it so much. This is a chalcedony pot. I hope I'm pronouncing these properly, but if not, let me know and I'll correct it for next time. I saw these when I was at the person's place where I buy all my crystals. I'm going to give him a shout out also. The Crystal Guy is where I go to buy all of my stones. From what I've learned, you really want unpolished stones because they're the raw power of the stone is fully present. It hasn't been sealed over. So for example, these are a couple stones that have been polished or covered with, I don't know what they cover them with, but it feels like you can't access the rawness of the stone. And so the polish reduces the strength of the stone by 90%. So you would try to find, if possible, raw stones like these versus polished stones. But when I was at the Crystal Guy's place, you can find his link on my website. He's just awesome. Gene is his name. He had these little pots, and there was a description next to it that it said these pots are supposed to take your worries away. So you blow the worry into the center of the pot, and then it just dissipates, right? The stone has a consciousness, and it absorbs for you all of the worries that you send in. And I read that, and I'm like, what? There's a pot that takes your worries away? But I was captivated, so I bought one, and I've been playing with it in some of my meditation space. And it's an energy, right? It's an energy like anything else. So if you set the intention that you want to release your worries and you don't want other people to have to pick them up, this pot feels like the perfect place to drop them. So you can just blow your worries into the pot and let it go. I know it sounds almost too easy, right? Like, can you actually do that? But why not? I mean, why can't you? So what I would love is for people to find that in their meditation practice, when they tune into their solar plexus, their power center, and they connect with their body, they can just choose to release, right? They can just choose to release. And so you don't have to hold on to all of the baggage that you've had for so long. You can just decide to let it go. And maybe there will be pieces that you have to keep coming back to clear. But what if it is just that simple? And because you're choosing to meditate, you can just move it out. Yeah, I think it feels complete. That feels really good. Is there anything else to add to it? No. I think that feels good. So that's kind of how I decide, when I'm done with my intention grid, I just feel or know. It feels done to me. I don't know that there's any science to it, but it feels like I captured what it is that I want to create, and I've anchored it into this physical form of the stones and the crystals. So usually what I will do at this point is, just sit in silence for a minute and hold the vibration, of what it is that I want to create here. So I'm going to do that for just a moment. You can join with me if you want. So my intention is for meditation to become a practice for as many people as possible in this world, and that it spreads. As it spreads, it recycles back into the consciousness of compassion, and then it connects us to our power center, to our bodies, and through that we heal ourselves. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I would love to hear from you if you have other things to add in. I'd love to hear from you if you decide to create your own intention grid, to see how it feels for you. And I'm happy to answer questions. I'm not an expert, but I love this practice, and it inspires me and it keeps me grounded and anchored. Special thank you to my daughter who was filming today, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you so much.